Hey guys, what's up? It's Paris, also known as LeSweetpea, and today I'm at the Ipsy Studios in Santa Monica. This is so exciting. Like, there's lighting, there's this really cool screen where I can see myself, and we get to choose our background and everything. So I'm a member of Ipsy OS, and they let us come to their studios once a month or once every 2 months to film, and this is my very first time being here. So I'm super excited to film this video for you guys. So today I'm going to be talking about how to transfer from a community college to a Cal State University. I personally went to Santa Monica College in Santa Monica, which is literally like only like a block, not a block, like a mile from here or less. And I went there for 3 years, and now I'm transferring to UCLA. But I did also apply to Cal State, and I know a lot of you guys are in the midst of transferring, and I was really confused how to transfer to a university, whether it be Cal State or UC. So all this information is what I would have liked to have known right when I got to the community college, or even just, a year in. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is meet the minimum transfer requirements. And the minimum transfer requirements for Cal State University is having a 2.0 GPA. So you just need to have at least a 2.0 just to be eligible to apply. And you also are going to need to complete English 1 and 2 and a college level math. So depending on your college, they might have different names. At my school, it's English 1 and 2. At my friends' schools, some of them, it's called like English 101, English 102. But I'm sure you'll know what the English classes that you need. So you need 2 college level English classes, and then you need a college level math. So I took statistics, and you could take pre-calc or like other hard math classes, but I just chose stats. They were all pretty much gonna be hard, but I did okay in stats. I got an A. It's also really important to take an oral communication class. So this is gonna be public speaking, any type of like oral communications, and you can always ask your counselor like what is going to count for that category, but that is also something you're going to need to take to be able to apply to a Cal State University. So you want to get those over with as soon as possible, and you want to do the best you can in those classes, preferably get like an A or a B, because those are the classes that they're going to be looking at. And then you need to have at least 60 transferable units the spring before you transfer. So a lot of people get so confused about this, and they don't know like when they need 60 units. They think that they need 60 and then they're supposed to apply, but that is not how it works. You do not need 60 units to apply. You just need to have 60 before you actually get to the school. So when you think about it, you apply a whole year before you're actually going to be at the school. So at my school, we had fall, winter, and spring, and then I would be entering the school in fall. So you still have about 2 or 3 semesters before you're actually going to get there. So when I applied to all my universities, I only had 32 units. And people would be like, what? Like, how did you get to 60 before you got there? But I took around 12 units in fall, I took 6 in winter, and I took 11 in spring. So by the end of spring, I had 64. And that's basically what you want to do. You don't want to already have 60 when you're applying, because it's like you could have applied the year before because you're basically already done. So I hope this makes sense, but the easiest way to put it is that you just need to hit 60 before you get there. And it cannot be in the summer. It has to be by the end of spring. So if you have over 60, that's totally fine. Like if you didn't really like know if you wanted to apply, but let's say you have like 90, it's fine. But I'm just saying, if you're in a rush to transfer, or you just want to get it over with and transfer, be out of community college, you can apply with 30 or 40. Like you don't need to be at 60 when you apply. Okay, so the next important thing you're gonna wanna do is identifying your major. So this was really hard for me because I just didn't know what I wanted my major to be. Like I did, but I kind of would switch up and stuff. So when I first came to community college, my major was computer science, which is crazy because it's really, really hard. And I actually never even took the classes. I just said, I want to be computer science. Like I'm kind of good at computers and like, techie stuff. And I went to a counselor and saw all of the requirements that I needed, and it was like 15 or 16 classes plus a bunch of math. And I was like, oh, heck no. Like there's no way I'm taking that much math. So after that, I was like, maybe I'll do graphic design. And after that, I was like, maybe I'll do communications. And I finally ended up at Japanese. So basically just take time to take classes to see which majors you might be interested in. And for me, the easiest way was just to take out the list of all the majors and cross out the ones I definitely didn't want to do. And after that, I had around 7 left, and I kind of just messed around with those 7. And Japanese was just a language that I really, really wanted to learn. And by the time I got to applying, I was like, why not have it be my major? Because it's very important what your major is, because at each school, there's going to be impacted majors and not impacted majors. So you really have to decide, is it more important for me to go to the school, or is it more important for me to have this major? Because let's say you're business, that's always an impacted major, so it's going to be really hard to get in with business. But if, let's say, you really like sociology, that might be an easier major to get in with. So you also have to look at what's impacted or not, and that also really depends on the school. So yeah. So like I said earlier, I am going to UCLA, but I did apply to Cal States. I applied to Cal State Long Beach, Cal State Fullerton, and San Diego State, and I was accepted to all 3 of them. Even though I didn't decide to go to those schools, I still know the process of applying and getting accepted and all that stuff. So yeah, along with identifying your major, once you have decided your major, you want to take as many major prep courses as possible. So you want to get done with all of your lower division major requirements. And after that, the next step is to apply. So you're going to go to csumentor.edu and create an account. And then I think it's October 1st through November 30th is when the application opens. Once you go into the website, log in, you're going to be clicking undergraduate admissions application. And when you go into that, you're going to click the box for the semester you're applying for. So if you're applying for next fall, you'd click fall 2017. And then the application is actually really, really easy. I was really stressed out about applying, and I thought it was going to be super hard, but for the Cal State, it's actually like the easiest application you can ask for. So it's really awesome, and you don't have to write an essay. You don't really have to give anything personal. Like, you don't need a recommendation letter. They don't even want you to send one. You don't need to put any activities or anything like that. So it's really, really great. And you basically are just putting in your general information, like your address, where you've lived, your GPA, just really basic information that is not going to take you that long. I think completing the application literally only takes 35 minutes, and that's super awesome. I mean, obviously you're going to want to check it 20 times before you send it off, but I mean, just completing it will probably only take you 30 or 40 minutes. So you are going to have to put the courses that you're taking at the moment. So if you're applying in fall, you're just going to put what courses you're in currently, and then you're also going to put the courses that you plan on taking. So if you're a psychology major and you have certain major requirements you haven't taken yet, you're going to want to put those in your courses plan so that the university knows he is trying to complete his major prep requirements, and GEs as well. So it's also going to ask you for the Golden 4 classes, which is what I mentioned before, which is English 1 and 2, college level math, and then oral communication, which is public speaking or something like that. So you do need to take those 4 classes. It's okay if you haven't taken them yet, because they do give you the option to put planned or in progress if you're taking it at the time, but they only ask for those grades. So you really want to try to do your best in those classes. If you've already taken it and you didn't do so well, it's okay. I mean, just hopefully get your GPA up higher. Hopefully it didn't affect your GPA too much, but you do want to get A's and B's in those classes just so that they know that you've done well in just being at least college level. So after you put those in, you're almost done. All you have to do after that is fill out more general information about yourself, where you've lived, stuff like that, and what high schools you've went to, etc. And then you're gonna do a fee waiver. So it's very easy. You just have to put in how much your parents have made the past year, so 2015, and you don't have to do this, so you do not have to apply for the fee waiver, but if you do apply for it, then they can waive the application fee, which is $50. So if they do decide to waive it for you, then you can apply to 4 for free, which is super great because you get to apply for free, so it's win-win. And after you do the fee waiver, that's literally it for the application. You can just press submit, but definitely check it over. Have people check it, your counselor, your friends, your family. And once you're finally ready to submit it, you submit it and it tells you that you've successfully applied to that specific school. And another great thing is that so you do the applications one by one. So if you want to go to 4 schools, you do have to do 4 different applications, but they're the exact same application. And you do not have to fill them out again. All you have to do at the end is press import to a new application and everything will already be filled out. If you do want to edit your major, like let's say certain Cal States you want to apply with this major and other Cal States you want to apply with a different major, you can just switch that up and edit whatever you need to edit and you'll basically be done. So that's what I did. I just imported all of my information to the other applications and I was done within a few minutes because it really doesn't take long to import the information. And yeah, that is pretty much it with applying to a Cal State. You do have to follow up throughout the year. In around February, you have to send them your new grades that you got in fall. And definitely make sure you have your email address updated. They're going to be sending you emails telling you what's going on, if there's welcome days, if you have to send in more information like transcripts or anything like that. And yeah, I really think that's about it. But I'll let you guys know when I got accepted to the schools I applied to. Cal State Fullerton, I got accepted in December, which is really, really soon because I sent off my application November 28th, I think. And then I got accepted December 23rd. So it was less than a month that I found out. But for that school, I think I got early admission. So that's why it was so early. And for the other 2, Cal State Long Beach, I got accepted in January, I think. And then San Diego State, I got accepted in March because I remember it was right before my birthday. And my birthday is March 6th, and I got accepted March 4th. So I was super, super excited because I really liked San Diego State. And I did apply to San Diego State with Japanese because it's a really, really hard school to get into. So you want to make sure you're not applying with an impacted major if that's your dream school. Or if that's just a school you want to get into in case, you don't get into your other schools. And Long Beach, I think I applied with communications, and Fullerton, I know I applied with communications. So that is all for how to transfer from a community college to a Cal State. And this is mainly for, obviously, California community colleges. Another great thing I think that you guys should do is get your IGETC verification, which is just completing all your GEs before you transfer. And that's just going to make your transfer process a lot easier, and it's going to be great. So if you guys have any questions for me, definitely just comment down below, or you guys can send me a message on Twitter or email me if you have a really long question. And yeah, I think that's about it. So I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye!